The American presidents were people like you and like me, or at least that's how the founders intended them to be. Hi, my name's Teddy Ebby. Welcome back to my reoccurring segment where we're talking about the personal lives of the US presidents past and present. We are talking about their nicknames. Last time we talked about the shortest serving US president in history, the first man to die in the White House, William Henry Harrison, president number 9. We talked about his positive nicknames, and even though he only served 32 days in office, he also accrued his fair share of negative nicknames, things that people would have called him to make fun of him. So today we're going to talk about those 3 most popular negative nicknames. Without further ado, we're going to call attention to perhaps my favorite negative nickname used for a president so far. William Henry Harrison was often mocked as Old Granny Harrison. Harrison had already reached the ripe old age of 68 when he ran for the presidency in 1840.
He's an old man now.
Nowadays, that might not seem that old, with sitting President Donald Trump being 79 years old, and his predecessor, former President Joe Biden, turning 82 at the time of this filming. But you gotta remember, this was nearly 200 years ago, and William Henry Harrison, at 68, was the oldest man who had ever run for the presidency, and that record wouldn't be broken again until Ronald Reagan.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
Harrison's enemies, particularly Martin Van Buren supporters, used this negative nickname to portray him as too frail to handle the responsibilities of the presidency. But ironically, this negative nickname kind of backfired because it portrayed Harrison as this experienced elder statesman.
He's smooth, he's competent, he's experienced.
So when mocking his age didn't work, his enemies pivoted and instead focused on his physical attributes with this next negative nickname, calling Harrison the Hoosier Giant. Even today, Hoosier is a slang term for somebody from the state of Indiana.
That's a Hoosier, Jeff!
After he moved from the politically crowded and complicated East out to the frontier of Indiana, Harrison became a giant of a force in frontier politics. Critics tried to use this frontiersman politician persona that Harrison had cultivated about himself to present the man as unsophisticated and unfit for office.
We might seem like small-town, unsophisticated people to you, but we've got our pride.
But again, being a man who moved from the East to settle the West, this negative nickname kind of fell flat. This wasn't so with the third and final negative nickname, where he was called the Puppet of the Whigs. Now, this isn't wigs as in the hair that you wear on your head. This is wigs as in the political party. Whig Party was a very short-lived political party that stood in opposition to the Democrats in the mid-1800s. They stood in strong opposition to the Jacksonian Democrats, who, while they preferred a smaller government, loved a domineering head of state in Andrew Jackson, a very powerful president. The Whigs, they preferred American power be centralized in the lawmakers in Congress instead.
On behalf of the great and incorruptible Whig Party, God bless it.
So they made sure that the candidate they put their support behind, William Henry Harrison, was loyal to them. Harrison's critics said that he was far too beholden to the party and that he would just go along with whatever the leaders in Congress said. But unfortunately, he wouldn't live long enough for us to know whether he had the courage to chart his own course. Previously stated, he would die only 32 days into office, and he would be succeeded by the president we're going to be talking about next time, John Tyler, his vice president and the 10th president of the United States. I'm Teddy Ebby. Join me next time for the 3 most popular positive nicknames of John Tyler.